things on action.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to the Three Idiots Talk Queries podcast. I think we have to quickly wave. We have to quickly wave to Cam to go on TikTok
Thank
or
you,
something.
Ryan.
So that's
Thank you,
fun.
Ryan.
It'd be a shame if we did that before we started recording.
Yeah,
But hey, better late than never. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you all very much for tuning in to listen to us shoot the shit for an hour. If you haven't already, reviews and ratings and that on like Spotify and stuff goes a long way. So like every morning, Ryan wakes up and then that's the first thing he looks at, and if there's no new ones, he cries. So that's not ideal.
I just need to say that we don't need reviews, and probably no one is listening to us after the last episode, because if everyone gives us a review based on the last episode, we're going to get like negative infinity review, if there is such a thing.
Just put it on it and I don't know.
Just forget
tell
about
us a
last
joke
episode.
or something.
Forget about the last episode, and yeah, we'll move on from there.
By talking about last episode, you're also promoting last episode.
Oh shit! No idea.
Well, yes. So that's what I would like you to do. It will stop Ryan from crying. As you can see, he's already grumpy. So if he gets any worse, then
good review we get.
No, that's a bit of a stretch, man. Come on,
apparently
be serious.
the last episode was not a shit topic, and I just didn't put enough energy into it. So whatever the shit topic is next, I'll just put heaps of energy into it, and it'll be amazing.
All right, sounds good.
I'm sorry, I didn't put energy into the I want to be a fish thing.
That would have been a good segue if we didn't have other stuff to talk about first. So we'll just jankily move along. What have you guys been up to recently? Have you had anything exciting going on in your fish rooms?
Yes, I've been through sorting fish, so it's not exciting, but it's just progress. Like you just got to rip.
Just clearing space and that.
Tanks down with hundreds of fish and just sort all the males and stuff like that. Go through, grade them all by size, because the smaller ones aren't growing properly because the big ones are taking all the food and stuff, and put them in a different tank. And I did strip some Jarlo reef fry, which is pretty cool because I'm trying to get them breeding. They've been probably a 2-3 year project that hasn't really gone anywhere yet. So good to get some fry from them.
Cool, that's fish.
They were awesome fish. Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
I just had to Google it for my own reference from memory of what they were, but I was correct in the ones that I was thinking. They are a cool fish.
They're very cool fish, and hopefully we can get them out there. There'll be a couple that are going to start going into the market soon. So get some murder out there.
They're the kind of African I would consider keeping just because they're actually cool.
Yep, I agree.
Bro,
well, that's
you want a cool African? I'll give you some crepensis.
Apart from bumblebees, and
bumblebees are awesome,
and Kenya, they're awesome.
I like Aratus. They're pretty American.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's my lot.
All right. Well, sounds exciting. What have you had going on recently, Karen?
I've been making babies. My wife's pregnant again. No, that's not true. She's not.
So it's like, congratulations. I'm pretty sure did you not learn the last 15 times?
I've been making fish babies. Lots and lots of fish babies.
Congratulations on your sister/wife getting pregnant.
Oh. Way too early.
What sort of fish have you been breeding?
I actually managed to hatch some bronze and albino Corridora, which blew my mind.
Nice.
So far, my track record is just moldy eggs, so that's okay.
And progress.
It is progress. Yep, there's still a lot of moldy eggs, but some hatch, so I can work from there.
If you just have one more viable egg each time, just keep up with it, and hey, keep chipping away, and you'll be swimming in Corys.
Well, first step's to get the eggs, obviously, and then you just got to start hatching them. So all good to figure out what's going on.
Ideally, I'd be able to figure out the molding issue before some of the things like stir-buys or whatever spawn, or some of the slightly harder ones. But I guess that's why there's lots of bronze and albino cories about, because they spawn really easy. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, they're cool fish, though. Like,
there's nothing wrong
you know, it's not one of those ones where it's like, you know, sometimes it's like the cheap ones are cheap, but they're boring. But bronze cories and albino cories, like, I actually really like them. But albino can be a little bit creepy.
Yeah.
I agree. Some people find them creepy, but I'm like, they're endearing. They're endearingly creepy.
One of the few albino fish that I think are really cool are the corridors.
I reckon it's because their eye is so much more like visible, you know?
Possibly.
Like it stands out so much more, and then you see this eye like just wiggling around all creepy like. Yeah, I love it. Good choice.
Yeah, and had my rainbows hatch as well, so that's another bit of fun going on there. So blue lacustrus, blue neons, and Bosmani.
Oh, nice.
You had those other fish lay eggs as well. I don't know if you're talking about them though.
I'm not talking about them yet.
Okay,
I was talking about the cherry barbs. So I had them lay some eggs, which was the first time for that as well.
I would joke that we're going to cut that, but we both know. Well, we all know no one's going to edit this episode, so. But yeah, cherry barbs is cool. Yeah. Fucking love cherry barbs, man.
Yeah, I like cherry barbs too. Are they long pinned or normal ones?
Standard ones.
Yeah.
I only got a couple of eggs, but that's more than what I got last time around, so that's a start. So
got to start somewhere, exactly.
And it's interesting the breeding, the breedingness of fish. Sometimes it's easy to breed them, but then when you want to breed lots of them, that can be a little bit more of a challenge. So it's often the trick. Often it's easy to spawn 10 fish, but how do you get to that stage where you're spawning 100? You know,
and
the same fish and raising 100.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a massive challenge of, like I was going to talk to you guys today about, like, how many pairs of something do you keep to make sure it's economically viable to be producing enough fish to run, you know, clearly to sell in my retail store. It's not like I just, you know, as a hobbyist, cool, I've had a spawn, I've had an extra 3 or 4 fish add to my tank, cool. It's like I want to be producing 50, 60, 70, 100, whatever it is on a regular basis to.
It'll really depend on the fish, though, eh? Like, that's the hard part.
Yeah, it does. Because some of those fish are very prolific, eh? But it's all the timing. You know, if you miss the spawn, leave them for too long, they eat all the eggs. If you don't have it set up properly, you know, a lot of them need to be bred in one tank in the morning. Then you move them to another tank. You move them to another tank the next day, 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 and then go from there. So. You know,
lots of learning to come.
And at the moment, just getting viable fry is a good start. But you can't really. There's no really point in you putting all your energy into it. Like you say, if you only get 6 to 10 babies each of each spawn, you're like, this I may as well just buy them from the wholesaler. So, but again, the first thing's getting viable fish, and then figuring out from there, building on it.
Yeah. So. Fingers crossed when we have this conversation next week, I can say that my red phantoms and my black neons have spawned, because they're all being prepped up for this week as well. So hopefully Monday morning.
Next time we'll be talking about how you've got so many fry swimming around that's like that's all you go to sleep and you just have to see images of fry, and it's like I can't. Everything has to be like 50 cents because there's so many fish around. So.
One might say I might be swimming in fry. How good is that?
That's not funny. Not very good.
No cap. That was awesome.
Don't do that.
Sounds like a establishment up here in Auckland where lovely ladies used to swim in disgusting pools for everyone's entertainment, swimming in fry, you know. But anyway, well, that's swimming in seamen.
Alrighty.
Anyway.
Well, yeah. So. I recently, actually, I only yesterday had saw something kind of interesting. So I've obviously got, I've got my tank of, life. Yeah, pretty much. I've got my Julie Dick Veldy tank, just like what is it, like 150 liter dual little chromistic Veldy tank. And they did breed for ages, and there was heaps of fry, and then they stopped breeding for some reason that I didn't really put that much effort into figuring out. And then just yesterday, I noticed there's another batch swimming around of tiny little babies. So that was pretty fun. Not
Do
a
you think
lot
it's seasonal?
again. No, I don't think so. Because I
Probably
don't think
gonna-
that would line up.
I'm probably going to reach a stage where like there's just the tank's saturated, you know, and not many more survive.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna.
Because
I want to pull out a pair, but they're too hard to catch, and I gave up. Like the three times I've tried, I gave up before I caught any. So, but yeah, I'm gonna pull a pair out and put them in a different tank and breed them. But
the problem
It's
with them
difficult.
is they obviously all look the same, and then as soon as you put a net
Yep.
in, they all just zip off, and you're like, which two had decided they wanted to be friends?
oh yeah, I definitely can see the the premium too, and you can always see the female, and then the male you'll only see when there's food because he sits down the back. I'm like,
yeah,
just pick a spot where I can more easily find you.
yeah.
And then what's going to happen is if I catch one, and then I can't catch the other one, then I'm going to have no idea what the other one is. Like I have to catch them both at the same time, otherwise they'll just blend in. So
Mm.
And also
I just prefer with the don't worry about it method and just let them do their thing.
with Julie's, like if you were to move one and then try and catch the other one later, you'd probably put them in the same
Oh,
tank,
yeah.
and they'd forget who each other is, and then whatever
Exactly.
fish you put in there first would take over the tank, and then put the other one in, they'd probably just fight and not breed, and then you'd be like, oh, this is dumb. So
Yeah, man.
you want to move at the same time.
So that's why we're going with the just can't catch them. So it sucks because it's not the most conducive aquascape to catching fish. So
Nah,
that's not
but it looks
ideal.
cool.
But
It looks
what
cool.
are
I've
you
had a
gonna
few
do?
people,
Exactly.
comment on that tank and say how much they
Good to
liked
hear
it
it.
and stuff. So yeah,
Good to hear it.
cool fish.
Yeah, man.
Have you guys, either of you guys, got any of those black rams that just look like really nice blue rams yet?
Nah, I'm not cool enough. I talk too much smack to get included on cool stuff that get imported.
Personally, I don't like the black rams. I think they're quite ugly. That's just me. And I think there's just a big hype about them because they're a different
new.
fish that we've never
They're
had,
new.
that we've never had before, and they were made popular by YouTubers and whatnot. They're not a fish that I like, but equally, there's people that want them, and I have not bought any because I don't know who's got them.
They were only like $40, eh? That's random
I don't know.
ass.
Hmm.
I saw.
Yeah, they're retailing for 40
I
to
saw
50
Ronnie
bucks,
saying they
yeah.
were like $40, and I was like, "What the hell?"
44,
I would have
I
thought
think
they'd be
he
like
said, yeah.
$100. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's one of
But
those
they
ones
look-
where it's like, that's one of those ones where they're not that cool. Like they're cool, but like they're not that fancy. But like that's one where it's like to get them into breeders' hands in New Zealand, and then they can line breed from them. So it's like shaves off a whole bunch of time of like starting from scratch trying to breed them.
But they're not that cool
It
at
would
all.
be pretty cool.
So they
Well,
look
yeah,
like
I mean they're not my
they-
thing. Rams in
they look
general are my
like a-
thing, but people like them.
They just look like a really nice blue ram to me in the photo. So maybe they take some time to go black, but they had some more black on them, but they look like a really nice blue ram. And I thought, oh,
Yeah,
they look cool, but
well, people like
I don't
blue
know.
rams, so it's a good start. But yeah, it'll be cool to see. I think it'll be a good one for like that's one of those ones like someone who's super into rams will just like get a breeding group and then just line breed from them and develop their own, New Zealand strain rather than just import some.
well,
But yeah,
I know that I know of at least one person who's gone around and bought up at least 6 to 10 of them from different shops and is planning to breed them.
oh nice.
Unfortunately, he's too useless to listen to us, but we all know him.
I don't know who that is, but
Oh,
sounds good.
Nelson up here.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
the
been
old
sitting.
rams and monster fish, the classic combo, eh?
Yeah, you know Nelson though. He sees it. He's like a seagull. He just sees something pretty and he's like, I'll take that.
Yeah,
Does he
So he's one of these. He's a cool. He just keeps all sorts of stuff, which is quite cool. Going to his fish room, there's always something going on that's different.
some random stuff going on you've never seen before.
Yeah, like this trying to spawn his ornatus and stuff. What are they? Ornates? Ornatus?
Ornate
Ornates.
ornate budgers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Oh, well, sounds good. So, time for the. Probably should. I was thinking I probably should come up with a name for this segment, but YOLO. So, this one is marginally fish related, but it doesn't matter because it's my segment. I can do whatever I want. So, what is, in your guys' opinions, the best beverage to enjoy when you're sitting there looking at a fish tank or pond or whatever?
The best beverage, you know.
I would go. My personal opinion is, I think it pairs nicely with a good coffee. But hey, that's just one man's opinion.
I'm going for beer.
Of course you are.
And now I seem like an alcoholic because you guys don't drink. But you know,
Yeah,
Well,
probably,
you look like one anyway.
thank you. You're
Probably
handing out all the
coffee or-
compliments today.
Yeah, man.
coffee or a glass of ice cold H2O.
Not a cheeky Red Bull.
No, I don't drink energy drinks. I've
Yeah.
given up on them
Well.
as well.
Fair
Fully?
enough. Can't
Fully
argue with
given
that.
up? Fully?
I'm nearly 2 weeks clean of energy drinks, so
Oh, good work, man. Good work.
Hey, good
work.
stuff.
It might be longer than that. Might be 3 weeks, but either way.
But like
Hey,
now,
it'll be another few days by the time we release this, so count that.
I've got quite a few mates that have been keeping fish for a long time, and sometimes they come over, we grab a couple of beers, and we go out the fish room and just talk shit and have a couple of beers. So it's just quite good, just hanging out.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I don't drink it all and leave it on the ground, and then it just goes into that rotten mess that we found the other day. Cam, remember that?
Oh yeah, the old biohazard of the 6-month-old beer that had been sitting there.
Yeah,
No,
it
you're
was
just trying to culture death.
something, culture something. I don't know what, yeast.
Yeah, man, it's all part of the plan. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. But yeah, no.
But yeah. Oh well,
beer's
sounds
the best,
good.
Cheeky beer's the best one. That's why you should probably get a license for your shop, and then you'll probably do real well.
It's a
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, I just ring the pub and get them to, I don't know, expand. So episode topic for today is our top, I don't know, 3, 5, whatever fish that requires patience when you buy them. So there's kind of like 2 ways I thought we could think about this question. Like number one is the more obvious, like you buy this little fish from the shop and it's like really little and it's like kind of stressed and it's not fully mature and everything. And it's just like gray or brown or like not really that colorful. It's like, yeah, whatever, it's cool. But then you come back in like 6 months and you're like, oh my God, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. So there's that way you could think about it. Or the other way is a fish you buy and then you put it in your tank and then it's just really scared and skittish for ages because it's a maybe less outgoing type fish or a more timid overall fish. And then it's kind of boring. You're like, oh, whatever, I'd never see it. Then once it settles down and like gets its fins under it, it is a really cool, like interesting fish to watch, like fun behaviors, all that kind of thing. So yeah, that's kind of the episode topic. So I'll throw it out to you guys. What is your number one top suggestion for this question?
I am going to go with the easy one for applicants and go with Alto Lamprolagus.
Oh, fuck you. I had it on my list.
I know, so I stole it.
Damn it.
Calm
Yeah,
down. It's not that much of a serious episode, mate. Need
is,
to,
because now-
need to watch it.
This
There's
is
kids
just
that listen to this podcast.
this is just such
Horrible
a
parenting
great.
decision.
This is just such a great topic, and I'm so excited by it. Like
Good to
it's
hear
way
it.
better than last week's. But anyway, Ultra Lamprolagus, we've got compressed seps or calvus, and yeah, like
Sumbus.
well, we had Savus, but I killed them. Anyway, let's not talk about that.
So it's like
Yeah, they just grow so slow, basically. But when you get them, they're this little kind of cool thing that's probably like a year old to get to like 3 or 4 centimeters, and then probably not that cheap, but hey, you got it. And then they grow like 2-3 centimeters a year, and eventually they turn into this awesome thing with this cool shape and these teeth hanging out and these like iridescent spots all over them, and just
So
look
how
like some
long
sort
would you say? How long would you say from like the size you're saying, like 3 or 4 centimeters to buy, to like proper adult size, like full adult size, how many years long am I needing to commit to this fish to actually get anything good out of it?
You've probably a good 3, 4, 5 years to get them to from 3 to double in size to probably 10 centimeters. The problem with it, and probably why we have such slow growth rates of these things, is probably because they're not really in the best environment. Like I mix mine with my Malawis, so they probably don't get as much food as they probably should. They're still always fed and they're still always quite happy, but I do wonder if they'd grow faster. But they naturally are a very slow growing fish. They're like a bony,
Like a lot of Tangyukans are.
yeah, but they are worth it. Like most people
Oh,
will
yeah.
spot them in my tanks and go, wow, what is that?
You know
They'll
what I
want
always
it.
say they are? That's like,
Oh.
so I don't know if if you guys don't know what this is, you'll have to Google it. But like, like a datnoid, like a tiger fish, it's like that, except you could put it in your pocket kind of thing. It's got like these massive teeth, like this weird, like their jaw is like it just looks like mean. Like it looks like it's going to kill somebody. Like it's got this big bad jaw looking thing, and then these pretty
They're
like
like a dinosaur.
patterns
They
and
look
colors and
They look
stuff.
like a dinosaur, right? They're like a dinosaur sort of fish. They just
Exactly.
they're just something prehistoric about them. And they are just really cool fish. Like I used to breed them. I used to breed Calvus by the 100, and yeah, it took like 8 to 10 months to get them to selling size. So you just have tanks and tanks of bloody things growing at like a millimeter a month type thing. It feels like, but
Well
that's
worth
the
it
cool
though.
thing about them. That's the cool thing
They're
about
so
them,
awesome.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're really cool
And,
fish.
and I've got a bit of an inside scoop on a whole bunch that are going to be available at the aquarium project soon. So these ones will be extra rare ones. Hey,
Yeah, man.
Black-
Working on it.
black
Probably.
black capelli, black capelli comps. I think Cam Nelson might even get some of them as well. Black capelli comps. They're like almost like a Calvus, but they're a compressor. So they were actually imported. They're actually ported legally, not like the Calvus. So always a bonus.
It's a bonus. That's an extra tick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that probably. I think around. What's the date today? Maybe around 3 weeks. So by the time you hear this, 2 weeks, and yeah, I'll obviously be putting lots of videos of them.
And
So that's the plan.
they're a seriously cool fish, those ones. I used to own the parents and sold them to a mate, and he spawned them up, and now they're going back to market. So
Yeah,
not
man.
usually available.
Yeah, pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, well,
So
what's
my
your
first victim?
what's your top? Don't call it victim. What's your top suggestion, Cam? Your number one go-to guy.
Number one biggest fan.
Ornico
good
Angel
one.
Plicos.
I didn't hear what you said.
Ornico Angel Plicos.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, my turn.
Fancy plicos, yeah, they take forever, baby. But you just have to have your patience and sit there all year waiting to see it once a year, and you've got to be patient. It takes forever to see them.
Yeah, man. All right, so you're gonna have to expand on that one about
So
why.
What did you actually say it was? I'm going to Google it because I don't know what it is.
L201 Orinoco Plico.
L201 plico. Okay, so
They
to the people,
ridiculously, they're as slow growing as what like the Altos are. They're insanely slow.
When you can see this fish, it's actually a really cool fish. It's like a black with white polka dots all over it, eh?
No, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful fish.
Yeah.
Just insanely slow growing.
And just definitely with having and shining a torch underneath a rock for a week until you can see it. I think that one's definitely up there for fancy plecos. Would you say that one or zebra pleco will be better?
What, sorry?
In terms of coolness, would that or zebra pleco be cooler, or is zebra pleco faster growing? Because we're talking about slow fish here, aren't we?
Yeah, I think zebra plecos are probably faster growing than the 201s.
Yeah.
I think most people put the zebra pleco as the coolest pleco about because they're just striking and vivid, but that's not what we're talking about, Ryan, so stay on topic.
Do you want to know
Okay,
my unpopular opinion about zebra plecos?
What's that?
My unpopular opinion about zebra plecos is people only like them because they're expensive. I think there's far cooler plecos that more people will enjoy that aren't as expensive. Unpopular opinion. Don't at me.
I think there's a couple of things there. Possibly the price, but also the price keeps people out of it. But they are very striking. That straight black on white is.
Oh yeah, they
it's
are
not-
definitely.
I'm
They're like, I'm not saying they're cool. I'm not saying they're not cool fish, but like, it's one of those ones that, like, everyone is like so desperate for one. But I'm like, I think there's cooler ones you can get and cheaper ones you can get and more easily, available ones you can get. So
So you're
What's
saying
the
it's
cool
like
one?
a bit of a zebra pleco flex, is it? Do you reckon? I've got a zebra pleco,
well, no, not even that. Just like people get excited because it's expensive, which is like fair enough. But
They did through Australasia especially, but even internationally, when they stopped getting imported, they got quite rare and they got quite sought after across the world. Like
oh yeah, of course.
in
That's
Australia,
huge
especially,
contributor.
they were smuggling them. They were doing all sorts of crazy stuff to get them in and out of Australia. There was all
Yeah, man.
sorts of mental
Fish
stuff
people be
going on.
crazy.
Yeah. So, but anyway, we're not talking about zebra plecos. We're talking about L201 polka dot plecos.
Not
Give a quick description for the listeners who don't know about plecos.
they're black with white spots.
How
They're
big
what
do they
people-
get?
Not very big. They're a smaller species.
Nice.
What people refer to as snowballs, which they aren't snowballs, which is something that really grinds my gears because they're not.
They look
but,
like a snowball, though. If I was
They
gonna
are
call
not
plecos,
snowball
they were-
plecos.
Fight.
It'd be like me
Google
saying
Google
that-
says L20. eBay says L201 snow mall. Snow Nall Nall pleco. So maybe it's a snow Nall pleco, not a snowball pleco.
it would be
And
like me saying to you that you're.
Quebec Cichlids says snowball L201. So
What do you
lots of them
expect?
saying
It's
too.
sickly idiots.
Yeah.
It'd be like
Aquatic
me saying
arts.
to you, "Hey, look at your Calvis," but it's actually a compressor cyst. You'd be like, "No, that's not the same fish."
No, anyway, you carry on with your snowball talk.
They're not snowball plecos. That's a different fish altogether. Anyway, they're ridiculously slow growing, like insanely slow growing. I've had a bunch here for nearly a year, and I think they might have put on about 2 centimeters.
So you
That's
own
insane.
some of these fish.
Yeah.
Are they slow growing because they're just at the end of their growingness, or are they like, if you got them as 5 centimeter fish and they only get to 8 centimeter fish, so they're growing slow, they've gone through their juvie fast growing stage, or are they just through their whole life
I
cycle?
got them fairly small. Probably shouldn't have bought them quite as small, but I did buy them quite as small and forgot that they take so freaking long to grow out. So
No, that's
could be
the joy. That's the joy of fancy plecos. They can be in your tank, and you don't even know they're there. It's just the gift that keeps on giving.
But I know they're there.
But you forgot about them. You said.
But I know they're there.
Okay, cool. Well,
And
you just have to
every time I
believe-
pull up, and every time I pull up the tank, I know they're there because I see them every time.
you have the belief of a fancy pleco breeder or keeper. I believe my fish are there. So I could be like on a Disney movie. Yay! I've got fish in there.
Do you want me to go out and take a photo of all my tanks of plecos that you can see just by looking into the tank?
Young Cam, what have you got, mate? You got any fancy plecos kicking around?
Well, I can tell you for a fact, I definitely do not have a fancy pleco on this list, so I'm going to put that out there early. But what I'm going to go with...
But I mean, if you did have one, you wouldn't see it, so you may have them, right?
Sure.
That's the mystery of a fancy pleco.
I actually do still have that zebra pleco in the shop that I saw. Okay, I see it maybe like a couple of times a week, so that's pretty all good.
Oh,
You muted me.
Yes,
so
you did.
You're looking after someone else's fancy pleco, though, weren't you? Someone else's
Yeah.
zebra. Is that right?
He actually bought it off cam originally, and yeah, I see it every 3 or 4 days maybe. So that's
Oh, yeah.
exciting times.
It's good going.
See
It's
it,
good going.
see it for a brief moment. So yeah, it's lit. What more could you want? But yeah, no. So the next thing the next one that I was gonna sort of suggest is a bit of a difficult one. So it's like rainbow fish in general, obviously, but I was particularly gonna go with the what are they called? Neon dwarf rainbows. I think that's a good one because when they're little, like when you go see them at the shop, pretty much they're like what would you say, like silver, basically, with like the females have like
of blue, a little hint of blue and a little hint of red, but they're mainly a little silver sardine. Yep.
Yeah, and then the female's got like these yellow fins, and then the male's got the red fins. But like that's basically what they look like. Like Ryan says they're blue. I mean, sometimes, but not crazy. But then you get them home and you grow them up for a while. Like rainbow fish are notorious for being slow growers, but once you get there, they'll just like be like a highlighter color. Like someone's just like highlighted them, real shiny blue with like the different fin colors between males and females. And they're actually a really cool fish. They're one that I do put in a few clients' tanks because once they develop, they're just so awesome. They're like don't even really look like they're real, to be honest. But takes a minute for them to. They're probably. I don't know if this is 100% true, but they grow fast enough. Like they're not fast growers, but they're not horrifically slow growers. But they take a while to like develop, if that makes sense. Like they don't fully mature and like get all their adult colors in that for a wee while.
And even though they're a dwarf rainbow, like for rainbows they're quite small, but they get a bit of size on them too, eh? Like they get to sort of 4,
they're
5,
not
4, 5
like a
centimeters,
dwarf.
They're not like a tetra. They're bigger than a tetra.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're still small, obviously, for a rainbow fish, But,
and as well, being rainbow fish, they're just always zipping around, so it's like extra, zhuzh, I guess.
We can get those real tiny. We can get those real tiny rainbow fish as well, can't we? In New Zealand, like
like the Australian ones.
Yeah. So maybe, they're probably not actually small for rainbow fish. Thinking about it, but anyway,
smaller.
They're still cool.
I guess
smaller than like the big red ones and stuff, which I don't know what they are.
Red rainbows.
Know what they are. What are they, Cam?
Cam, can you please tell Ryan that I'm not talking to him?
Oh.
No. Well, that's awkward.
Right. Yeah, that's
shame
good.
we're on a podcast
anyway.
then, eh?
Anyway, suits me. Yeah, I agree with your statement there. I like those fish. I think they're cool, and they're definitely one that you'd probably walk past in a pet shop unless you'd seen them big.
Yeah, they're definitely one that like
were.
you kind of need to know what's going on before you buy them, because otherwise it's just like you're buying a little grey fish that doesn't really look like anything.
And inside scoop, there may be some NZ bred ones available at some stage, so they'll be extra good.
Yeah, man, they got all the good coloration in that.
Yep, I agree.
Bred with love.
Bred with love.
Yeah, man.
Or love with being bred. Yep.
All right. What do you got? What do you got next, Cam?
Well, Cam, I think male honey gouramis a bit like that. They're a little bit drab in the shop, and when they develop, when you get them home, they are quite stunning and phenomenal. But I'm not talking to Ryan, so make sure he didn't hear that.
I'll do my best. So are we talking about those like grey ones? Not grey ones, the wild ones. That's like kind of more subtle browny red, or like the yellow ones, or the red ones.
The wild standard ones that get that real strong sort of orange honey color on them, and the darker abdomen on them. Like in shops, they just look a bit gourami-y, if that makes sense. And then
just looks like a rock.
Yeah, when they get settled in, they get comfortable. Far out, they are nice, colourful fish.
Yeah, no, I can get behind that. That's a cool one. They get a lot more sort of vibrant, I guess. Even if the color's not as in your face, they do have nice vibrant colors.
Yeah. It's not bold, bright, and highlighter type stuff, but it's intense. If that makes sense.
Nah, I know what you mean. Probably a non-fish person listening to this is like, these guys are mental, but I know what you mean. Don't you worry.
Yeah. No, they're a cool fish, and it's just a shame that the other dwarf gummy is so crap.
I have to agree.
That the neon's in that.
Yeah,
because
they look
are
so
ridiculously
cool and
colourful.
they're so vibrant and they're so it's
Yeah.
like boom, and then in a week they're like boom, dead. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
not ideal.
But at least the honey's cool little fish. They're quite commonly bred as well. I mean, not like everyone's out there pumping them out, but people can breed them and do breed them infrequently. Males and females come in.
They're ones that's not like a they're not the same as like a beta or anything, but they're like similar enough, like quite interesting personality and like fun to have, and like still got that strong color, well, like bold color and all that kind of thing. So I really like them. That's like one of my first like fish that I loved, if that makes sense. I used to have these ones that would every time I walk past, they'd spit water at me. So that was hilarious. So
That's cool. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the honey gouramis. I've come around to gouramis. I never really used to like them, but I've definitely come around to them the last year or so.
I'm very like I don't know what you'd call it, but like some gouramis I love, like honey gouramis and pearl gouramis and that. And then some gouramis I just do not like at all. Like the, moonlight and like snakeskin and stuff. Just don't really do it for me.
They're quite cool gouramis in general, how like you can get tiny little sparkling gouramis like the size of your fingernail sort of thing, or massive giant red tails or pink ones. Like the spectrum of size is just quite insane for the same family of fish.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, eh?
Yeah.
I like those moonlight ones are cool. I know you don't like them, but I think they're cool.
Yeah, I mean they're fine. They're not horrific. They're just not my cup of tea.
Cool.
I like pearls.
Yeah,
Again,
man.
it's a shame that the other dwarf gouramis are just so weak-blooded because they are really.
They do look cool.
They're really colourful.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got, Ryan? What's your next suggestion?
I've got one that you guys aren't going to be able to pick, but I'm going to go. It's like a two-tiered thing. There's two fish, but they're kind of similar, but they're in the same sort of thing. But I'm going to go with an Odessa and a rosy barb. Because I think, especially Odessa barbs, when they actually are settled and coloured up, they look pretty badass. But in the store, they're just this like silvery thing with a hint of red on them. And then when they're actually growing up a little bit and settled in, and they're really looking good, they get like purples and blacks and real deep colours in them, and they just look awesome. They're real cool.
Yeah, that's a good choice. A lot of the barbs, really, a lot of the more like, how would you say, like not the common barbs, but like a lot of the more random barbs, really cool colors. Because the good thing with them is they get a lot of contrast between the colors they have, so it stands out a lot. But yeah, and they get not huge, but decent enough size. They're not tiny little things. So you got a nice size planted tank or something. Having a bunch of them zipping around is a good choice. But yeah, they're just like gray or brown or whatever when they're little, so not as exciting.
The depth of the color on those Odessa barbs especially is just like, when you see them, you're just like, what is that? It's like literally a rich purple with black and like a really, it's just cool. I just think they're cool as. So
yeah, man.
On topic but slightly off topic, have either of you wondered why some fish are the particular colors that they are?
Yeah.
Or like why they're developed in the wild to be like that? Like, for what reason are they? Yeah, it's quite weird when you start thinking about it. Why have they developed this coloration?
It's weird because it doesn't, like, the reason. Well, I don't know if you call it reasoning, but like the reasoning is not the same for all fish. So like, like I don't know, what's an example? Like a Tenopoma is like, looks like a leaf, so it can look like a leaf, But then you've got like a, Cardinal Tetra. Obviously, oh my god. Sorry.
Ghost?
The cat was just trying to stand on the fish tank with the most janky ass lid.
Is that the
but
one you nearly stood on before?
You what, sorry?
Is that the one you nearly stood on?
Yeah, we only have one now. The other one died, so that's lame.
But sorry.
Thank you. But yeah, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, but then there's like, obviously Cardinals and stuff isn't trying to disguise itself as anything. It's like real bright and standing out, and it's like, that's weird. makes you question God.
No,
Yeah, like
nothing makes me question God.
why are all fish not just brown? You know, why?
Yeah, man.
Or why are they not all
Exactly.
red? You know, so yeah, I mean, we'll never know because
Or even there's like the other weird things, like when you got the same species, but there's like different color varieties for like different collection points. Like, what the hell's going on
Different
there?
colours
That
between
seems
males
random.
and females.
Yeah, man. It's like that doesn't
That's
seem
not-
like
that
that seems
one's-
like one of them's going to be much easier to eat than the other one. You know?
Yeah, it's
but
weird.
then you look at some fish like, and then the females are bigger and more colourful than the males.
Mm.
You know, like there's some of the
Yeah, man.
jellies where not all jellies, but some of them, the females are bigger and more colourful than the male and more aggressive. And you're like, how
Yeah,
the hell
man.
does that happen? I think it happens with
Super
clownfish too,
random.
doesn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah, I think with
Thinking
clownfish.
Nemo's clownfish, the females are bigger than the males. So it's just it's
Pretty
weird.
random.
There's no yeah. Why does it happen?
It's
Yeah,
even weird
man.
because, like, in the animal kingdom, males are normally the ones that are the prettiest, trying to attract a female. So if the odd fish to turn that around, be the females being the bigger, prettier one, not the male. It's just an interesting trait as well.
You could talk about the classic example you learn about in primary school, where like the male seahorse gives birth to all the little baby seahorses. Nature's
Yeah,
weird, man.
yeah.
Nature is random.
Yeah.
And I've had one African cichlid where the male would hold, which is weird.
You mean one
Very-
specific African cichlid?
One specific
one
weird
species.
fish, not one species, just one weird fish. My otter point, my male, sometimes steals the fry from the females and then holds them, male swimming around with a mouthful of fry. I
Hey,
thought
man,
he was
if he gets
sick.
the job
Thought he
done.
was sick until I stripped him, and he had bloody mouthful of babies.
Maybe
He
he's
doesn't
just
hold
trying to prove to the girl
Well,
that he is a suitable father. I'm not
he
going to run away like
obviously-
the rest of them.
He obviously identifies as whatever he wants to identify as, and that's okay. We've got an inclusive fish room, you know.
Hey, man, if the fry survived, that's all you care about.
Yeah, interesting though.
Yeah,
Have you thought
super
about
weird.
keeping those fry back and seeing if any other males from that has picked up that genetic trait?
I did, but then I didn't care that much
Fair enough.
because I just thought, hey, that's cool, that's weird. I'm probably never going to see that again, and then just carried on with life because, like,
That'll be a random
don't
thing
need-
to breed for.
I don't achieve
Ryan's
anything.
otter
by-
points train where the males hold.
Yeah, I don't really achieve anything by breeding for that or not breeding for that.
Yeah.
I do have those fry, but I don't know where they are, which ones they are, because I've got 3 or 4 batches growing up. So yeah, it doesn't
Oh.
bother me.
Well, you'll
It was
find
just
out.
interesting. It was interesting. So
Yeah, man. Oh, well, so I guess it's my turn to go next. So I guess we've talked a lot about the, things that take a while to color up in there, but I'm going to go the other way with the question and go with probably the most obvious one, and that is Oscars. Not probably they're in general more colorful when they're small, even like maybe I don't know, less than 10 centimeters. A lot of them, not all of them, but like the red tigers and that are really bright, like deep black, and then they
Yeah,
get older and
yeah.
they get more gray, and then obviously
Yeah,
the red's
yeah.
just or orange is just orange. But yeah, so that's kind of the thing. But with their behavior, you really have to wait a while for them to like calm down and like give you what you want, if that makes sense. Like when I got my red Oscar, he literally didn't eat for like 6 weeks because he just didn't want to. So I was like, well, this sucks. Hopefully he doesn't die. And then, that was like, what, 3-4 years ago, and he's big and fat now. So that's the main thing. But you do have to wait a while for them to kind of calm down and know what's going on and like learn who you are and everything before they start to interact with you and play around. Like quite often, pretty much every time I get a question about, oh, my Oscar's not eating, like one of the first few questions is like, how long have you had? And it's like a week, 2 weeks, a day. It's like, yeah, it's probably not going to eat for another month. So, don't worry, it's not going to starve itself to death. But once it figures it out, then you'll need to feed it every 5 seconds. Otherwise, you'll get beaten up. So, yeah, but that would be my one that takes a bit longer to settle in and requires some patience in that regard, rather than the coloration and the prettiness side of things. So yeah,
Cool.
Relatively
Yeah.
Feel free to say
I
something.
agree. I don't really. I guess Oscar. Yeah, I guess they do take ages to grow, and they probably develop more of a personality and
They
more of
do
like
not
a.
take ages to grow.
Well, sorry,
They
take
do.
a-
They're a growing
As they-
machine.
as they do grow fast, but they're going to take. Obviously, they're going to take time to sort of develop that water puppy relationship with you and picking shits and all that sort of stuff when you do something they don't like and that. So maybe
They get
takes time
with
to
the
get
growth
to know
thing.
them. You know.
With the growth thing, that's the biggest thing I disagree with. Like they get to like a medium size super fast, but to go from like a medium size to like a big size takes ages, man. Takes ages. That's why you don't see so many big ones around, because it just takes forever, and people don't. They run
What do you
into issues before they get there. You what?
What do you
Sorry?
consider big? What do you consider big?
Like a big one. Like I don't actually know centimeters wise, but like the size of my red one, like he's pretty beefy unit. But then all my other ones aren't quite as big yet, because like all my albinos be like that more medium kind of size, whereas like they've had their massive growth spurt, now they're just like growing slowly and slowly until they get bigger and bigger.
Is that because they get neglected into 150 litre tanks too often and aren't given the room to move?
Nah, I don't think so. Like
I
just
theorise that
like
clown loaches are another one of them. They didn't have. You don't see many massive ones because they get put into too small a tank for too long, and then they just get neglected and die, and only a few of them get bigger.
yeah, that definitely makes sense. But yeah, it's certainly part of it. I don't think it's one where there's like a single answer to that kind of question, but it definitely plays a role. But yeah, so that's my next suggestion. What do you got? What do you got for us, Cam?
Diamond tetras.
Random.
They don't develop color, but as they get bigger, they develop that phenomenal sparkle from their scales. I was going to say gills for a second. It's not the word I'm looking for, from their scales. That they as they get bigger,
I'm going to sneak a segue in that you can talk about too, and basically you can just call both of them. So you're going to say diamond / Colombian tetras, okay? So just keep on the same thing, okay?
Continue.
Colombian
they're the
tetras are
same.
pretty underrated.
Oh, yeah, and they're like I googled diamond tetra and I said, oh, that looks exactly the same sort of shape and size and stuff as a Colombian, and damn, they're cool fish, but they take forever to get some size on them and actually really glow.
I think we might be talking about different fish here. I don't think Colombian tetras are the same shape as diamond tetras. Colombian tetras
from Google.
Colombian tetras color-wise are more like dwarf neon rainbow fish.
No, same size, same shape. But anyway, they're a cool fish. So they're a cool fish the same, and they do take time to develop. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And your diamond one in Google definitely has like some sort of weird, crazy coloration going on it. Again, why did, however they evolved, make them that color?
Yeah, seems random.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, they're definitely a good choice. I'm a fan of them, but I'm not the world's biggest fan. But I've noticed recently, recently enough, get asked about them quite a lot. Like they seem to be growing in popularity for particularly for the aquascaping crowd and all the plant people and that, because I think they look quite cool with plants. Because the good thing with their color is they contrast like anything, obviously being shiny.
I'm on the fence with them because, like, as a retailer, they're a really hard sell, but as a hobbyist, they are really cool fish. So it's a real tough one with them. Like
you just got to grow them up for a bit more.
Yeah, I just want to keep them in the shop because I like them, because they're a cool fish.
I don't think I've actually actively ever seen them. Next time I go into a shop, I'll actually have a look and see if I can see.
But how many fish stores have you ever walked around? You probably have seen them, but they're just not that popular. Not that cool looking.
I've never actively gone out there.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the point,
I would have seen them. I would have seen them, but not noticed them.
They don't have that bright popping color. Glow light tetras are another one that, as a retailer, they're a hard sell, but as a hobbyist, I think they're stupidly cool fish.
Me too. I find glow light
Yeah.
tetras not that hard of a sell, to be honest.
Yeah, I struggle
But that's
to
only
sell
because
mine.
they're like $5. So it's
Yeah.
like probably the cheapest tetra there is. That probably contributes more than the color. But that's
Possibly.
like my first tetra was a glow light. They're very
I
cool
think it's-
fish.
Yeah, seriously cool fish, especially in the right setting.
Yeah, man,
But yeah,
100%.
Diamond Tetras would be my one. Just because they're a developer, they're a grower, not a shower, as it were, in the shop.
Shine bright like a diamond.
So yeah, I think they're cool. Yeah, and I think they need a bit more love going in, and it's cool that people are beginning to ask about them a bit more because they're cool. I think also there's a little bit of a conservation program going on overseas from them in their natural waterways. I want to say something might be totally wrong, but getting lower numbers in the wild. So there's a couple of groups that are spawning them and reproducing them to get them back into the wild. So I think that's kind of cool as well.
Oh, nice.
Hmm.
Well, that always helps.
When I typed
Yeah.
in Diamond Tetra in the wild, it said Diamond Tetra in the wild NZ. And I was just like, what? You stupid Google. They're not in NZ.
You stupid Google.
Anyway.
You've redeemed yourself, Ryan. You've redeemed yourself. Look, we're talking again.
Are you speaking to me now?
Yeah, that lovers tiff didn't last very long. We're okay again, buddy.
All right.
Oh,
Good, I'm glad.
well, you can talk a little bit more about your Colombian tetras if you like, Ryan.
No, he's covered that. I'm going to talk about Tropheus.
Well,
Sweet as.
We've already talked about Tropheus lots of times anyway, but maybe someone hasn't been listening to us the whole time, and
Doubt it.
and yeah, they're frustratingly slow, but also awesome when you get them there, because they just take forever to mature, and then when especially if you want to breed them, then they start holding, but they take like 6 to 8 months to actually start holding properly, so you don't actually get any babies, or the males aren't mature, and then when they do start breeding, you get like 2 fry. So they just take forever to get anywhere with them.
Are the eggs like ridiculously large proportionately to the body?
Yeah, they're massive. Yeah. They have like
they have small birds.
1.5 centimeter fry type thing coming out of their mouths.
Wow.
So they're pretty big. They're pretty big. So yeah, biggest spawn I've ever got was 21, but most are around 7. You know. So
nice. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's more, I guess, more of a patience in terms of like, you know, if you're a breeder or something like that, rather than, you know, because when you're just a hobbyist, they're pretty when they're babies anyway, just different, mostly.
But I mean, to really enjoy them, you do need a large group, and also like a lot of I'm not just talking about the Boise here. I'm talking about a lot of the other ones just come out as little stripy things, you know, the little black stripy thing, and then you've got to grow it out for like 2 years for it to actually get any color. Probably not that long, but you know, to get full color and some size
for
and
a while.
start interacting. Yeah.
How many Tropheus species completely change like the dubs? Because obviously they start spotty and they turn to the bluey, yellowy, stripy things. How many other ones have such drastic changes?
I think it's just the Boise that do it, but I can't be sure because we don't get a large amount here, so I haven't actually don't know a lot about other types.
There's a red one that's got I can't remember the name. It's got a slight striping on it, and that changes a little bit, doesn't it?
I'm not sure.
Be ashamed if we had a Tropheus expert on the podcast. We could ask.
What's going on?
My Firefox start off as a reddy black with stripes, and then they go into a red when they're older. The Malero.
That's the ones that I'm talking about. So you do know. Stop playing.
But the problem is with Tropheus is there's about 10 different types of red ones. You know, like red rainbows and all that sort of stuff. So they're all slightly different, but the same.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that all African cichlids are the same fish with a different spot on the back. So don't even quote me on that.
Different fish.
It's not like they're plecos or anything.
I don't want that to be associated with my name because they're completely different fish, even though they look basically the same.
Same fish, different paint job.
Yeah. Here we go. So that's me for now. I think that's pretty good. Pretty good start.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good choice. I'll allow it, shall we say? Well, the next one I'm going to go for is maybe not going to. Well, so I'm going to go with cherry barbs. So that's another one. They get like good size pretty fast, but I find they take a little minute to get color, like proper bright color. Like they'll get, I guess, medium quite fast, but then the extra little bit that makes all the difference does take a little minute. But yeah, once they get there, they're fantastic.
Yeah, like your ones in your display are like bright red. They're actually, they're legit, and you're like, well, bright
but they're
red
like
orange.
ancient. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm gonna say that, and then even the females who don't get the world's most colorful, they get pretty they get real big when they like get filled with eggs and that. But that does obviously take a while. So you gotta give them a minute to figure that out. But yeah, they're really cool fish. I do like them. I like them a lot. One of my top few community fish.
Definitely a difference between like a male cherry barb doing male cherry barb stuff, and then one that's at that point of wow, bang.
Yeah. Like you're a very cool fish. Yeah. They are Ryan just being a silly bugger in the chat, but that'll be my choice. So yeah, did anyone have any other ones that they're gonna cry if they don't manage to talk about today?
Yeah, I think rams in general, but particularly Bolivian and German rams.
What about dark Batman rams?
Don't know. I've never had a Batman ram yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I think we get low quality rams here is because we see these photos on the internet of like a mature one that's in prime condition, and in the shops we just get the younger ones that are still kind of developing, and after 12 months, 18 months, they really get that full flare, that full sparkle on them, and they become that really beautiful fish. But they take time, and you've got to really give them what they want to get that sort of color from them. But yeah, they take some time to really develop that depth of color and the parts through them. So yeah, there'd be another one. Bolivians are pretty good for it as well, but yeah, Germans are ones too. Yeah,
no, I definitely agree with that. That they're definitely a one that's like they'll definitely be colorful when they're smaller than that, but kind of go really next level kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of like the cherry barbs. Like you can see that they're red, you can see that they're colorful, but give them some time and they just explode with color.
Yeah, for sure, that makes sense. That's a good suggestion.
If they're good quality, healthy fish, they just take time to settle in, and sometimes they're just a little bit meh in the shop tank. You're like, yeah, okay.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Sweet as. Well, did you have any other massively pressing suggestions, Ryan?
I think that's me for now. I could probably go on a little bit longer for about this, but I think I was going to just say that sometimes pretty much any male peacock in a mixed tank can be like that. Like Regatas, for example. Like you've had him in a mixed tank forever, and then sometimes he shows some color, and then sometimes he drops it, and sometimes he doesn't, and then eventually might get to a stage where he's fully colored up, and you've waited like a year or two for him to actually get big enough to have some place in the tank and color up. So
Mastrogatus has got color now, and he's had it for long enough. I'd be pretty confident in saying he's going to keep it. He's obviously not the world's most pretty, but yeah, that took like 2 years, and he's like pretty much the biggest fish in the tank. He's like definitely up there in terms of the most pretty fish in the tank. So that was random, but hey, we got there. So that's all we can ask for.
Yeah. So that's kind of just a side note that I was going to say. But
yeah.
So I'm just looking at my tank over there, going, I've got so many fish in there that I've had for a long time that aren't really doing much at the moment, but are sort of getting near the stage of getting colourful.
Oh, nice. Good stuff. Good start, at least. Yeah. Sweet
Cool.
as. Well, yeah. Do you wanna wrap us up, Ryan? I know you
Yeah.
gotta get to work.
Yep, cool. Thanks for listening, guys. And I'm so much more excited about this episode than I was about the last one. It's actually not been a shitter, so that's good. Hopefully, we've still got some people listening after last week's debacle. And make sure you like and subscribe and give us 1,000,000-star ratings and stuff. You know, all that good shit. And also some feedback on our shitty logo will be good too, because while I like this one, I think this one's better than the Discus one. We do need to actually get a logo because we do have a fan who reckons he's going to get a tattoo of it, and we don't want him to get a tattoo of a shit logo that we don't actually like. So
That's a good point.
we need to actually
Put some effort into it.
probably Cam inbred because he does all this, and then I just shit on it because I'm that sort of asshole. Maybe we need to put something on Fiverr and get some Fiverr people making
Some
us a logo or
professionals
something.
in the building.
But yeah, hopefully we'll talk to you guys, or we'll talk some shit to you guys later soon with some cool other stuff.
Sweet as. Well,
See you later.
thank you very much for listening. We'll see you later.
Right, bye.
So, ta for now.